At the midweek check-in, we often do reflection questions with one another. And so we're so glad that you are here to do those reflection questions with us this evening. We don't always use the same set. The set we're going to use tonight, I would call the classic. This is the set that I use again and again and again. And when I'm teaching folks how to do reflection, self-reflection, this is the set that I use. And so I would encourage you to do it. I would also encourage you to use a notebook of some kind or a piece of paper. And I tend to use these really simple composition books. I just, need something to write with. Some folks like to use something, more beautiful, a more beautiful journal. Some folks just like, whatever scrap paper they can get a hold of. There is something about writing these down. Folks tend to use these particular reflection questions either at the end of their workday or at the end of the day, like as you're getting ready for bed. They're a great way to sum up your day and put it to rest so that you can rest. If you're joining us this evening, I would encourage you to say hello in the chat and encourage you to say hello to one another in the chat as we're gathering this evening. Good evening, Christine. So glad you are with us. So, 8 questions, classic questions for reflection this evening. Question number 1 is, what happened today? What happened today? So as you write it down, some folks like to treat it like kind of a diary entry, dear journal, this is what happened to me today. Other folks like to use more like just bullet points. I tend to have to refer back to my day planner to remember what I did and what I had hoped to do, but will be put off to another day. But I find it really helpful because I can see that I have done something today. As the pandemic goes on, it's hard sometimes to recognize what we've actually done, or to realize maybe something took longer than we expected. And so something you plan to do gets put off to another day. You can make notes like that. What happened today? Give you a few moments to jot that down. Would encourage you to go ahead and write as we're gathered here, or as you're watching the playback of the live video. What happened today? The second question is, when did you feel connected to God? When did you feel connected to God? This is classically called consolation, and that's kind of a fancy church word. When did you feel connected to God? This could be maybe you saw something that was beautiful. Maybe you saw something that made you smile, made you feel alive. Maybe there was a moment when you felt like your true best self. You saw your true best self come out in a situation. Maybe you experienced God's presence or God's love God's grace, God's goodness. It could be just a situation you found yourself in. It could be through something you read or heard, maybe a piece of music, a piece of art, a piece of poetry. Could have been something that you saw in somebody else. Where my window looks out, I can see lots of people walking and riding their bikes and enjoying nature, and that often brings a smile to my face, is a consolation to me. And so that's question number 2. When did you feel connected to God? So question number 1, what happened today? Question number 2, when did you feel connected to God? Question number 3, what did you read, hear, or learn? What did you read, hear, or learn? You know, part of just growing is nurturing our minds and our souls with wonderful things. Read, hear, or learn. Also, to challenge ourselves with something new, something from a different perspective, something that stretches us. So what did you read, hear, or learn? So question number 1 was what happened today? Question number 2, when did you feel connected to God? Question number 3, what did you read, hear, or learn? If you're ever looking for a good book recommendation, podcast recommendation, Instagram account to follow, glad to offer that to you. What did you read, hear, or learn? And I'd love for you to let me know what is nurturing and challenging you these days in the read, hear, learn department. I'm always looking for good stuff too. The 4th question, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? Gratitude is so important to nurture perspective, to dispel kind of false understandings and false feelings. So what are you thankful for? What would it be like to jot off 5 bullet points of 5 things you're thankful for? It can be big things, small things, surprising things. What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? If there's somebody there with you, you could tell each other what you've written down. What are you thankful for? Today I would write down, I am thankful for laughter. This morning I got the giggles. It's been a long time since I got the giggles. It was great. What are you thankful for? Number 5. How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling emotionally? There's a couple of different ways you can approach this one. You can just start naming your feelings. Absolutely. That'll work. That's classic. If you've named, kind of one of the big 4, angry, anger, fear, happiness, sadness. Those are like the big four, right? Anger, fear, happiness, sadness. If you named one of those, you could maybe try to get a little more specific, right? That could work. You know, I feel afraid. Okay. What kind of afraid? You know, get a little more specific. Another thing you can do with the feeling question is you can kind of do a body check, right? Well, I'm feeling tense in my upper back, or I'm feeling pressure on my chest, or I feel like somebody's grabbed me around the back of the neck is holding on. You can do feelings that way too, kind of a body check of where you might be holding and need to just kind of release that stress because it's situated itself in a certain part of your body, right? So how are you feeling today? All the feelings are welcome. All the feelings are welcome in our gathering and welcomed by God. You don't have to hide them. There aren't negative and positive feelings. There aren't good and bad feelings. There aren't faithful and unfaithful feelings. They're all important. They all have something to tell us and teach us. So let's see where we are in our list. What happened today? That was number 1. When did you feel connected to God? Or your best self? See something beautiful, uplifting. Number 3, what did you read, hear, or learn? Number 4, what are you thankful for? Number 5, how are you feeling emotionally? Right? How are you feeling emotionally? And number 6, when did you feel disconnected from God? Right? So we had connected earlier. That was question number 2. Now we're at question number 6. When did you feel disconnected? Right? When did you blow it? That's how I often answer this question. When did I blow it today? When was I not my true best self? Right? When did I fall short in loving God and loving others and loving myself and loving the earth? This is the desolation question, right? We had consolation earlier. Fancy church word for this one is desolation. Desolation a desolate island, is kind of isolated, separated, barren. It has that image to it. And so when did you feel isolated? That might be another way to approach this particular question. When did you feel discouraged? And if we're going to really get honest, when did you feel destructive? Right. So question 6, when did you feel disconnected from God, from your true self? Just let it out. No need to hide anything. God welcomes it all. And so, once we write that down, we can say, God, I trust you to heal me and forgive me. Right? God, I trust you to heal me and forgive me. Yeah. We're never left desolate. God, I trust you to heal me and forgive me. Right. And so what are you asking the Spirit to do in you and through you? That is question number 7. What are you asking the Spirit to do in you and through you? Spirit, I am asking for the grace of... How would you finish that sentence? Spirit, I am asking for the grace of... Spirit, I am asking for the grace of... Right. Could be, I am asking for the grace of laughter. I am asking for the grace of perspective. I am asking for the grace of hope. I am asking for the grace of wisdom. I am asking for the grace of grace. All of those will work. How do you answer? How do you fill in that sentence? I am asking for the grace of... And then, Spirit, help me to. That would be the next sentence you would finish. Spirit, help me to... Right. Spirit, help me to... Spirit, help me to... Help you to what? So together, one way to answer that would be, Spirit, I am asking for the grace of wisdom. Spirit, help me to make this important decision. Spirit, I am asking for the grace of your presence. Spirit, help me to not feel so lonely. Spirit, I am asking for the grace of empowerment. Spirit, help me to help my neighbor tomorrow. Right? This is the question of intention, right? And it leads right into number 8, which is also an intention question. What will you do tomorrow to share light and love and grace? What will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow to be a peacemaker? Right? T says, Spirit, stay close and reveal each next best move. Amen. Amen. Each next best move. Beautiful. Absolutely. And those are the 8 questions. What happened today? When did you feel connected to God, your true best self? What did you read, hear, or learn? What are you thankful for? How are you feeling emotionally? When did you feel disconnected from God? That could be isolated, discouraged, destructive, not your best self. God, heal me and forgive me. Yeah. What are you asking the Spirit to do in you and through you? Spirit, I'm asking for the grace of Spirit, help me too. They all go together. And then question 8, what will you do tomorrow to share the light and love and grace of God? Those are the 8 questions. I hope they're helpful to you. If there's any way I can be of help to you, please don't hesitate to contact me. You are wanted. You are welcome. Always welcome. You are never a bother. And so I hope you have a blessed and peaceful and restful evening. And I hope to see you again soon.